Ryan is in San Angelo, Texas. Hi, Ryan. How are you?
Dave, I'm well. How are you doing?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Oh, man, I'm glad to talk to you. So I am an ops manager at a family screen printing and embroidery company down here in Texas. We've got usually around 160, 170 employees. We top line around 28 million.
Whoa!
So, yeah, we've been at it for a while. My dad started the company in 1988. And
go back a minute. Screen printing and what?
Embroidery.
What is your product line?
We serve K through 12 schools. So the spirit wear industry, we do some commercial stuff as well, but the bulk of our work is serving K through 12 schools.
Wow. Good
yes,
for
sir.
you. So 28 million top line, and how many team members?
It fluctuates, and that's what I'm calling about, but we average around 160, 170.
Okay. And how much of those are production workers actually doing the screen wear and the embroidery?
That's what fluctuates the most,
yeah.
But we're around 100 probably right there.
Okay, so like over half your staff is doing production, and the fluctuation, I guess, is based on the school year, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah. So with school sports and events going on, we see about 3 peaks in the year: February, April, and then the fall. Pretty much, we have the majority of our work comes in the fall.
Wow, way to go! So your dad started this, and you're running it now?
I am running.
You're running ops. You said you're running ops.
Yes,
yeah.
Sir.
Okay.
Yep. Anything that's made or moved, pretty much.
So all of this labor fluctuations on your shoulders.
The vast majority.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Nice gift. Okay.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Stress.
I love it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So your question is how to handle that fluctuation?
A little bit. We're in a smaller. San Angelo's not very large.
Mm-hmm.
It's not small, but it's not very large.
Well, you're not doing 28 million out of San Angelo. You got nationwide or at least region-wide customers.
No, just Texas. Pretty well, Texas and some of the surrounding states.
Okay, but I mean, you're not doing it all in San Angelo. You're doing Texas,
no,
the whole state.
No.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
The state of Texas.
And Texas got a couple high schools. Okay. Right.
Just a few.
Yeah. All right.
And a lot of them like football. Yes, sir.
Yes, they do. Good.
So we're just like everybody. We're just having trouble staffing, and we've got an Amazon plant opening up here. We've got a lot of job market competition and a seemingly small labor pool. And I just wanted to call and get your thoughts on making our staffing culture more sustainable, more exciting. Just what the trends you're seeing on staffing better, and maybe reducing the distance between the peaks and volumes. I know they're two kind of different problems, but we feel them both.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, they are two different problems. Now, what do you do with the folks when the work slows down?
So we're in a dead season right now with the summer, and we see a little bit of turnover and folks leave, but the majority of folks stick around, and we do our best to guarantee 40 hours, but the work is definitely not there for that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's deal with that one first, and then I'll come back to the other one. Okay. Because I think they're related, but not directly. Right. They're not. Right. It's not a 1-for-1 trade-off. But it sounds like you guys have been so successful in this singular area of business, but your skill set of your team and of your equipment could be used for so many other things other than just high schools.
Right.
And so I think you need to diversify your product line and get some products that are not as seasonal. Some customers that are completely that you're not used to dealing with, corporate America, or I don't know, licensing for. I've got a friend of mine that owns a whole bunch of licenses for sports mascots, and he can create. He's allowed to create. He bought the licenses from the different colleges, and so he's allowed to create a T-shirt with that mascot on it.
Right.
Okay, that kind of thing. And so he's diversified, and he didn't diversify. That's his only business. He does that all. Started with the SEC, and he's moved beyond that. Of course, the SEC keeps growing, so that's helpful. But So anyway, something like I'm starting to think like that. I'm going to get, but this is above your pay grade. This is you and your dad sitting down with the leadership team and saying, all right, what product lines can we go into that we can utilize these people that are just as profitable and fun? And let's take this from a 28 to a 48 million,
right?
Just by working on our downtime and having sales on our downtime from 2 or 3 other ventures. And you may have some false starts. You may try 3 different things and 2 of them don't work. You pretty well count on some of them not working.
Yeah, but I think that's what we're seeing. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but I think you got to find some other product lines that are that do away with the seasonality.
Right.
And so, like around here, we've got stuff that is highly seasonal, and retail stuff obviously all happens. We have a huge Christmas boon, people buying books and stuff on the website at Christmas, that kind of stuff. And in July, nobody buys nothing. So that's a very seasonal thing on our website as far as the retail direct-to-consumer stuff. But the offset of that is all the wholesale stuff that we do and the not direct, the B2B stuff that we do. So we've got all these other product lines that are not, live events. We don't do many live events right around Christmas. People are getting in debt. We try to get them out of debt later, but we don't do a lot of live events in July. They're going on vacation, getting in debt. But when they come back in the fall, they need our help. So we go do an event, right? Yeah. And so that's, our stuff's pretty seasonal in that regard. Some of it. Now, just those 2 things. But something like an EntreLeadership event, we can do those at different times because people, it's not as driven by a consumer value because it's more of a B2B product, this particular podcast. Okay. So all of that to say, I think you need to get the best minds in the business. There's 60 of you plus production people. So you need the top 5 people, your dad and you and 3 others in the room going, okay, what's the next chapter of this wonderful story that we're writing look like? And it involves diversification. Now, then once you're doing that, we've got more profit. We can change our pay scale for our production people because they're working. Yeah. And not only do we wish we could give them 40 hours, we're giving them 40 hours, and we're paying them more. Yeah. So that's going to help with retention. And then the other thing is true for all the small business folks listening, and that is small business people too often, not always, but too often, it took me a long time to learn this lesson, we almost hire apologetically. We almost hire like, well, we're not like those big companies. We don't have this big healthcare plan, and we don't have this fancy whatever blankety-blank benefit plan. And instead, my proposal and my brand differentiator, and it's taken me a while to own this and really believe it, and I do own it, and I do really believe it, is that small business is the best possible place for anybody to work because you don't get screwed. Corporate America will pee on you. Now, listen, I'm not mad at Amazon, but Amazon has 80 bazillion people, and they don't care if you exist on the planet or not. If one of your production people, wife dies, y'all care. Yeah. You take care of the family. You go over there. Somebody over there gets hit by a tornado, y'all care. You take care of your people. Corporate America doesn't even know how to do that, much less give a crap to do it. Sure. And so Amazon can't compete with you because you actually treat people right. And you don't treat them like a unit of production, like a robot that can be discarded the first time that somebody blinks. Sure. You care about your people. And I tell people that in the interview process. If you want to work for corporate America is you're working a J-O-B. I'm going to do as little work as I possibly can for the most possible money I can because I know they're going to screw me. It's a trade-off. When you work on small business, you're working with people that care, family that care, and you bring your all and you care, and you roll up your sleeves and you punch stuff and you make it happen, man. And that's who I'm interviewing. That's how I'm interviewing if I'm you. And go, listen, if you want to do production someplace else, there's lots of factories that'll hire you, and they might pay you $1 more an hour, or they might pay you this or that, but they don't give a crap if you stub your toe, and they don't give a crap if your kid gets cancer, and they don't give a crap if your mama dies. They don't care. And we actually care. Now, we have to get our work done. We work hard, but we care about our people. We love our people. And that's the cultural change, and it goes with a paycheck, by the way. So we've got to do the other part to get the income up to be able to increase what we're paying. You got to pay competitively, but when you pay competitively, you don't have to have double backflip, twist over the diving board off the high board benefits because the benefits is you're actually a human freaking being instead of a dadgum robot. And the first time somebody wants to raise their stock price, they do it by cutting payroll. And they do it every day in corporate America. So you got a great advantage over Amazon. And again, I'm not mad at Amazon. I don't think Amazon's bad people, but it's impossible to have 900 bazillion people. I don't even know what they hire. Good God. I mean, they've got centers everywhere that have 7,000 people in them. I understand. It's like, how in the world? But, if you've worked there, it's a trade. You're trading your time for their money. That's all we're doing. It's just a transaction. There's no soul in that at all, baby. And that's your brand differentiation when you're hiring and you're small business people. Small business people, quit apologizing. Quit apologizing. You have more to offer than corporate America has to offer. And by the way, 54% of Americans work for a business that has 500 or less employees. Most people work for a small business. So that's how that's what's grown this country. It's what makes it great is people like Ryan's dad and now Ryan doing $28 freaking million worth of embroidery and screen printing. That's just awesome. What studs, man. This is the EntreLeadership Podcast.